Okay, here we go. All right. Jose, you are episode 3. So,
Congratulations.
so we get to talk through, and this is welcome everybody to the Proptech Genius Show. Everybody who gets on my show is flattered. I flatter them. I call them a genius. So you're a genius, and we're going to talk all things Proptech today, and we had the lucky have a guest who's from Mexico City, so we could talk about great things about Mexico, what's happening in Mexico. So I'm excited about that too. So yeah, so we're gonna kick it off. I'm gonna let Jose introduce himself to my audience, and we're gonna kind of go from there. So Jose, you can take it away.
Thank you. My name is Jose Lastra. I have a 50 years old. I live in Mexico City, and I was working in this industry by 30 years. So we have a lot of experience,
Yes.
and we are immersed in all this about the revolution Proptech around the world, not only in Latin America. I think that it's important understand that this technology is going to be very disruptive around the world, not only in Mexico City, even around the world.
Mhm. For sure. And your solution is around land development, right? Is what you're doing is around helping developers acquire the right piece of land, is what your
Yes.
solution does? Yes. Okay. Very,
Yes,
very
we are working in that project here in Mexico City, as you know, maybe around the world. Um, all the developers acquire the land with a broker.
Mhm.
But here in Mexico, not all the brokers have the knowledge or a deep understanding of the market. And I think there is a gap very important between the developer and the professional in the real estate,
Mm.
because not all the time the professional know the rules, know the market. They don't have a deep understanding about the market, about the buyer,
Mhm.
and about the regulation, and all these play against the business.
Right.
So we need to align the client, the main investor.
Mhm.
In the second hand, we have the landholder or the owner of the land.
Mhm.
We start to align in the same course to make a deal between them. For example, what we discover in the last year maybe, we have a special tool, and with this tool we can make the analysis for the every land that we are in the data, data. We have around 3,000 registers about all the land that is on sale here in Mexico City.
Mhm.
And we analyze each register in the last year. For our surprise, we discovered that the 37% of the old land that is offered here in Mexico is around 50% over the right price.
Oh,
The over, yes,
wow.
47% of the land is offering 50% over the price. The 10% is more than 100 far away from the right price of acquisition.
Mhm.
Only the 10.5% is in the right right price, or is in the right acquisition price, and
Mhm.
is available to make a deal and a future business. I
Mhm.
think that this is a problem of distortion in the price, and this distortion come over the market because the valuation of the land don't have a good method to do that. For
Right.
example, if you want to sell your property, you don't wake up one day and say, I want to sell my property right now. No. The first stage that you enter is that you first discover that you have the possibility to sell it,
Mhm.
And second is make a research to see what is the price, what is the best price, what is the best option, and what is the possibility that you have to obtain the best price for your property, you know?
Mhm.
But this is a process. This is not one day to another day. This is a process that you start first discovery, then research, and then execute.
Mhm.
So when you want to sell, you come to you call these people. I don't know how you say it in English. When some people make a study
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
to to give the value for the land.
right. An appraiser, usually called an
Yes,
appraiser. Yes,
yes,
appraiser.
right.
Yeah.
You call this person that is suppose is a very personal specialty on this point.
Mhm.
And what is the method? He make a research in the market
Mhm.
and he discovered where Jose is offering his land or his property in this price. Anna, he's selling in this price. Peter he's selling in this price. The neighbor in the corner of the block is selling this price. And the people that is behind is in this price. So they took all this price, make an average, and give you a
Mhm.
value. Okay?
Yeah.
What is the problem? The problem is that if the market is suffering a distortion, all the value that you give to the home is going to be distortion,
Mhm.
right? If the market is suffering a distortion, your value is gonna be distortion
Right.
because we need to understand that you have to pay a price for the land in function that what is that you can do with this land. I don't know if you follow me in this,
No,
but
no, yeah. So you're basically giving it a value based off of what what can be produced after, like what,
yes.
okay, got you.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yes.
right.
I think that this is a very square vision of the business, but
Mm-hmm.
it's the only tool that the investors and all the people within the real estate market have to appreciate the real value of a property. You know, I think that is the most fair value for a
Mm-hmm.
property.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with this problem and with this tool, we find that we can make a deal with the owners and with the investors in a right value.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we make a deal with land that was offered in the market. The listing price was, for example, around 85 million pesos.
Mm-hmm.
That's been more or less 20, no, 40, $4 million. I mean, $4 million, for
Okay.
example.
All right.
The price of the land was listing in the market in $4 million. And we make the close between 20 and $21 million. Perdón, two point $100 million. I mean,
Oh,
so
dollars or pesos?
the dollars.
Dollars. Wow.
The
Okay.
listing price was 4 million.
4 million. So
And
you
we
dropped
closed
it
on 2 million.
50%. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Wow.
yes. In other cases, we have a. I am talking in pesos. We just made the conversion
Yeah,
in
that's
my
fine.
difficult.
Yeah.
For example, we make negotiations with land that was offering 77 million pesos. And we finished deal that land on 50 million pesos, for
Okay.
example. No?
Yeah.
So these tools that we design, it's a tool that is very interesting for the people that know the market.
Mhm.
May I share you something?
Yes, go for it. Wait, I might have to give you power. Nope, you got it. Yep, go.
Okay, okay. Let me see if I can explain this tool. Okay. This is our tool, and the name
Mm-hmm.
is Oriel and Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3,000 registers. only in Mexico City. Okay?
So register for you, is it actually listed for sale? Is that,
Yes.
it's listed for sale? Okay, all right,
Yes.
gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to show you a real case that we saw. For example, this was a land in Gavino Barreda.
Mm-hmm.
This is in Mexico City. It's a very it's a great zone because it's very near from the downtown.
Mm-hmm.
If I pick this link, I want to see the Google. This is the corner.
Mm-hmm.
This was the property. It's a
Mm-hmm.
corner in Gavino Barreda, Colonia San Rafael. This is
Mm-hmm.
very near from Reforma. That is the main avenue here in Mexico City.
Okay.
Only maybe two or three blocks. It's a very important zone because you have very near the important office district
Mm-hmm.
that is over Reforma Avenue. No?
Very cool.
Okay, if I pick this link, in this case, I can see all the regulation. This is why what the law let me do on this land. For example, this is habitacional con oficinas. That's mean that is house with
Right.
office.
Okay.
It's a residential property with office. This is the use land.
Okay. With
No?
you.
For example, the levels, that's 10 levels, 30% of free area. This is
Mm-hmm.
the area that we don't
You can't build on it.
yes, you
Yeah.
can be yes, you can build on it because it's the free area. So
Okay.
and the density is a literal zeta. The literal zeta is practically you can do any kind of apartment and all the apartment that you can building on the land
Okay.
without pass over this amount of
Mm-hmm.
square meters. For
Okay.
example, this is 580 square meters. Okay,
Okay.
you can see all the norms, all the general norms and particular norms, and you
Mm-hmm.
have the regulation here. How many levels, how many area free area, uh,
Mm-hmm.
how many units, uh, how many meters per unit, and you
Mm-hmm.
can you can see all the regulation here. So we have, for example, the total surface of the land is
Mm-hmm.
775 square meters. This is the original price,
Okay.
77 millions. This is a cuenta catastral. I don't know how can we say this in English, but it's
Mm.
very important because this is the ID in
Okay.
all
Oh,
the map in the
for
city.
the city, like they have the plat IDs or they have the at the county where they have everything. Like
This is
that's
the account number,
yeah, 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 yeah.
which you going to pay the taxes
Oh, the
for.
taxes. Okay, I'm with
Yes,
you. Got you.
yes.
All right.
We,
Got it.
with this number, you can check everything. You
Okay.
can check the
Great.
location, you can check the regulation, and you can
Mm-hmm.
check even if there are some debts on the taxes.
Okay.
So this is the use of the land, levels, free area, and literal. Okay.
Okay.
So in the next, we can this stage when we can make all the analysis, and we wanna change maybe 5 or 8 facts.
Mm-hmm.
For example, the circulations. Let
Mm-hmm.
me explain you something about this. When you going to make this analysis, for example, you have a total surface of 175 square meters,
Mm-hmm.
but you have 30% of free area. So you have a usual area from 542 50 meters, square meters. I don't know
Okay.
if you follow me on that, but your path, the path of your building is going to be
Mhm.
from this area, okay?
Right.
So this part of the building needs stairs, needs elevators, and needs all these
Mhm.
community areas, no?
Right.
So this used to be functional with 10% of the area. So you discount this 10%, that is equal to 5040.25 square meters.
Mhm.
And you're going to have for every floor 488.25 square meters. And this is your area, your total area for selling, okay?
Yes. Okay.
So in this part of the tool, you can choose how many units per level you want to do. Okay, for
Okay.
example, if I do 4 apartments, this going to measure 122 square meters.
Okay.
But if I've made, for example, six,
Smaller. Yeah. Okay.
it's going to be more small. In this case, we're gonna make 9 apartments for, and this apartment is going to have a measure from 54 square meters.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the access, and this is configuration of the first level. Okay. If you have 10 levels in the low, that means that your building is going to be 10 levels, and the first levels is the lobby and
Mhm.
the EV level, you know.
Mhm.
So
Right.
in the first level, you have to redestination 2 units to make access for the people,
Mhm.
for the cars, you know, all the ramp access to the garage and
Right.
the access to the lobby. So you destinate 2 units for this case, and you want to redestinate 3 units for amenities, you know, when
Okay.
it's the co-working, or maybe the delivery center, or
Mhm.
maybe a gym, or a salon of uses multiples.
Mhm.
And how many units you have to redestinate for parking. For
Okay.
example, in this case, the tools want to show you how many basement you need to dig to make
Okay.
all the parkings. In
Okay.
this case, for example, if we have a nine levels of apartments, we have in total 81 apartments, but we have only nine parkings, nine place to parkings.
Yep.
So we need to dig, if dig one basement, we make 40
Ah,
parks,
interesting. Okay.
yes, but it's not enough. So we
No.
need another basement. We add one, and we have 71 parks with 81 units per all the
Okay.
building. So
Mhm.
this is the place when you select the price for the square meter. For example, we we can sell 55,000 pesos per square meter.
Okay.
Hmm. We select in this case the price for the commercial units, but in this
Mhm.
case we don't have any commercial units. We don't put any local,
Mhm.
so we only have 81 apartments and 71 parkings. Okay, parking
Okay.
places. So and the third one is our conceptual. What is the concept? Conceptual. We have one building with 81 apartments from this measure, with 152 square meters of amenities, with 71 places for park, and zero commercial locals, or commercial unity, zero. And this is a PB of the first level with nine floors, or 9 level, and 2 basement. And this is
Mhm.
the price for unit. The application
Wow.
makes the right calculate for the price for apartment.
Mhm. Wow.
And every apartment of this building is going to be a cost 2,900,000 pesos, for example, no?
Okay.
Okay, and this is the value total of the sales. This is
Okay.
the total value sales, and the tools going to show me what is the total price of the construction. Here in Mexico City, and I think around even around the country, we divide the cost of the project in two important costs for each one. The first one is the direct cost.
Mm-hmm.
This is the direct cost, and this represents the cost of the concrete, the cost of the brick, the cost of the floor, the chickens, the bathrooms, the all that you need to put in the apartment. You know, this is the direct cost.
Okay.
This not include the workers
Mm-hmm.
and hard workers. Okay.
Okay.
This is only the cost of the materials, for example.
Okay.
This is a
Okay.
direct cost. So the app is going to show you what is the cost of the construction of the building
Mm-hmm.
in the residential area,
Mm-hmm.
no, basement and the parkings, circulations and all the common areas,
Mm-hmm.
amenities, commercial areas, and total cost.
Okay.
This is the total
But
cost.
that is just materials only, right? No labor.
Yes, only materials. That's
Okay.
right. Only
All right.
materials, and the name is direct cost. So
Okay.
indirect cost, you this is the place when we set or establish the price from the land.
Mm-hmm.
And the application going to show you what is the cost, for example, for the escrituración, titulation from the land, you know,
Okay.
executive project, permits and license,
Yep.
completions, honorarios. This is the cost of construction for the payrolls, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
Commission of the sales, marketing, finder's fee, and this is the total of the indirect. This cost,
Okay.
including the price of the land. So
Okay.
if you remember, this property was offering in 77 million.
Mm-hmm.
If we pay 77 millions,
Mm-hmm.
no? What's going on with my ROI, with my return of investment? Well, the ROI is very, 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 very low. That is only 3%. So,
Okay.
and you have only two options in this case.
Yeah.
You can sell more expensive the square meter, square meter, or you have to recalculate the price of the land to
Right.
find the right value. So, for example, in this case, we could open this, and
Yeah,
this
that's better.
was the ROI,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not enough, okay? In this case,
Mm-hmm.
your ROI is very low for the
Mm-hmm.
average required.
Okay.
So I need to make adjustment in the price of sale
Mm-hmm.
per meter. So I review my conceptual. This is a price of the unit. That is a price very, very absorbed in the zone, in the area. It's a
Okay.
price within the market offer, within the market line. And you for surely can, you for surely going to sell very well the units, because this is a correct price for apartment, all right, in
Okay.
the zone. So this is your ROI, and this is acceptable ROI.
Okay. I see.
So we can do this example for each register in the database.
Wow.
So with this tool, we can find the more fair value for a property when this property is going to use or is going to be transformed in a new development,
Mm-hmm.
residential development. No?
So
Now,
you're helping the site selection by giving them data on what can be built there, right? So they know exactly what can be built on that property. They know exactly how much they can build, what the density is. They understand all of that. So then they're just tweaking it to go, oh, okay, yeah, if we built it this way, or we have to get the price down to here, right? In order for it to work, correct? I mean, and
yes,
so
it's
you're
correct.
basically just using data, you're informing the decisions because you're putting all the data kind of together. That's great.
Yes, it's correct.
That's great. Yeah.
With the use of this data and this,
Mm-hmm.
we generate this informed to our clients. For example,
Oh,
this is the example of other property.
mm-hmm.
No? In the first square, you're going to be a executive summary of the project. For
Mm-hmm.
example, how many units, how many square meters per unit, how many parks, how many meters of amenities, how many basements. It's a build of 3 levels without commercial locals. How many units, the ticket average for unit, the total value of sales, the exactly amount that you're going to invest directly. If you
Okay.
don't have a leverage with a bank, for example,
Right.
and you need to put all the invest for yourself, this is
Mm-hmm.
the total amount.
Okay.
And this is the amount of the profit at the end of the project. And this is the percent of the ROI
Mm-hmm.
that the project produce at the end.
Yeah.
This is a general information about the land. For example, street, location, how many mirrors, front, deep, type of polygonal, cash account, use of the land, levels, free area. And this is very important,
Mm-hmm.
Amy, because in this part of the resume, we put the price that the land is offering in the market. Okay, this
Right.
is the offer of
Mm-hmm.
this land in the market, the listing price,
Right.
and this is the suggest for our firm
Mm-hmm.
to acquire or to buy or pay for this line. No, this is the price
Interesting.
of the market, and this
Yeah.
is the suggest for the original
Right.
the price, and we suggest
That.
buy the land in 35 millions. Okay.
Okay.
And this is the conceptual. When in the conceptual, you have to be the measure of the all areas in the building. How many apartments per level? How many levels? How many basement for the parkings? The measure of every unit. No, if you have how many units were destined for access, how many units were destined for parks, and how
Parking.
many units you are redestined for amenities, and
Okay.
all the measure in the project, the conceptual of all project or
Mm-hmm.
or all the conceptual is in this area of the resume. The second one is the cost direct of the construction.
Mm-hmm.
This is the average price for a square meter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is on direct cost, including the price for the land, license, project, demolition,
Mm-hmm.
payroll, everything,
Okay.
marketing,
Yeah.
commission for sales, everything is in this area. So this is a special part. If you, for example, if you want to make this project with a leverage with a bank,
Mm-hmm.
no, that here in Mexico is very common that the developers support his projects with the banks,
Right.
and they go for loans.
Mm-hmm.
And this part is have the possibility to calculate the interest that you want to pay
Okay.
for all the project, and this depend from the rate. In this case,
Mm-hmm.
rate. This is the point basis that the banks use to sum what to the rate, and this is the final rate of
Okay.
the financial final rate.
Okay.
No? And this is the chart that show you the compose from the invest.
Okay.
What is the equity or total equity that goes the price, and what is your own capital?
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, if you have a leverage or you have a loan for this project,
Right.
in this chart appears the bar with the percents of the leverage.
Okay.
This is the percent that the land represent over for the all invest.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the charge. So sorry, this is the facts. When we expose the final results only in square meters, only in
Okay.
square meters.
Okay.
What does mean? That means that what we don't can calculate or we don't assume any gravy or any additional square meter in cells like extra parkings or rooftops or gardens or
Okay.
balconies, etc.
Okay.
This is only residential square meters per unit, per price per square meters, and the total value of the sales. No.
Great.
Finally, this is a chart that shows you what is the impact of the land in the total sales.
Mm-hmm.
No. You can see, for example, in this case, that this land have an impact on 22% over all the product of the sales. And this
Mm-hmm.
is a chart that shows you what is the impact between profit and acquisition price.
Okay.
So, and this is a little prognostic or forecast about what is the ay, ¿cómo se dice comportamiento? Behavior. What is the behavior of your ROI?
You're doing
You
great.
yourself, if you yourself 10%, 20%,
Yeah.
30%, 40%, 5%, and
Yeah.
this how is your ROI going to move in
Oh,
the
yeah.
end of time,
Great.
depending of the pre-sales that you have.
Yeah. If
No?
I had to present anything in Spanish, it would be very bad. You'd be laughing. Like, what did she say about a goat? Like, it would be bad. It would be so. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you for understanding that the English is not my natural
Yeah,
language.
no, you're doing fabulous. I mean, my
Okay,
my Spanish is not the best, but it gets
okay. Let
better.
me tell you, Amy, what is really what are we working to
Mm-hmm.
benefit of the common people
Mm-hmm.
and the real estate market.
Yeah.
This tool is very useful for people that know the market, that
Right.
know the business, that know the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, talking about the construction or the development, you know,
Mm-hmm.
this tool is very useful for the develop. It's very useful for maybe for the professional,
Mm-hmm.
but only to those professionals who knows the market and who knows the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because you have to understand all these very important facts about the analysis. You know,
Right.
for example, the circulations, the free area,
Right.
units per level, access, locals, everything.
Right.
So if you know the industry or you are an architect and you are within the industry, this tool is very useful for you. But if you're a common citizen, a normal
Mm-hmm.
person,
Mm-hmm.
that is the point. We actually, in this moment, we are working in web app that going to permit, or how do you say it? We gonna democratize all this of
Oh,
knowledge to the
yeah, that's
normal
great.
people.
Yeah. So you provide it to people so they can learn, right?
Yes,
So yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We are working at this moment in the design and the framework of this app, all the look
Mm-hmm.
and feel
Yeah.
is and all the user experience and
Right.
all these tools that we have available with all this
Yeah.
technology, for example, in artificial intelligence,
Right.
we're going to make this algorithm a smart algorithm.
That's great.
So
So you'll put more, there'll be a little less flexibility because people don't understand what parameters to look for, right? So you're going to suggest to them, hey, if you have this land, say it's somebody who owns a store, like on that corner, that family's owned that store for 100 years. They don't know what they could sell it for, right?
yes,
And so
yes,
you can help them and educate them by using the app. And
yes.
exactly. So
We
I get it.
we're
I
going
get
to do this app very,
it.
very educational
Yeah.
to the common people.
Uh-huh.
They will can in the web page put
Mm-hmm.
only the address of the property,
Mm-hmm.
and they going to be available to configure all the
Yeah.
project
Right.
uh, with one objective and one focus:
Huh.
obtain the fair value for the land.
Oh yeah.
Because here in Mexico City, the distortion of the price
Mm-hmm.
it's a problem very significant problem because is letting a scarp in the social structure.
Yeah.
Why I say this? Because the investors, the developer, is obligated to acquire the land very expensive, and
Mm-hmm.
this cost is translated to the final customer,
Right.
right?
Has
So
to.
what is the problem? The problem is in the real estate. I think that is the same in United States, and
Mm-hmm.
is the same in in others country. The property obtain more value very fast,
Mm-hmm.
and many times it's more fast than the pocket of the citizen.
Yeah.
So this is a problem around the world, and we need to apport a value
Mm-hmm.
in this industry to get a balance between the investors and the landlord. Actually, the resume that you saw a few minutes ago, the name of
Mm-hmm.
this resume is MAT, MAAT.
Okay. Got you.
En Spanish es very simple porque es matriz de análisis de adquisición de tierra, ¿no? Es matrix analysis and acquisition land, ¿no?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's very curious porque the word mat, es decir, M-A-A-T,
Mm-hmm.
o M-W-A-T,
Mm-hmm.
this word in ancient Egypt
Mm-hmm.
means balance.
Ah,
So that is the purpose of the mat.
yeah. Look
Bring
at that.
balance
Bring
between the
balance.
landlord
Yeah.
and the developer.
Yeah, I mean, it basically it brings balance because you're educating people. I mean, the more data you can present to somebody, the always there's going to be a better result, right? If you have more to understand, then and well, you and I we've been developers for a long time. The emotion tends to drive a lot of things if you let it. If you can't present something logically, then people are going to go, oh, my land's worth this, and oh, and then the realtors want to drive the price up anyway because that's a bigger paycheck for them. So they don't care. Like, you think it's worth 50 million? Let me see if I can go get you 50 million. you know?
Actually, it's very interesting
Yeah,
that you say, because I think that the main purpose of the technology around the world is bring more light, is bring
yeah,
more of knowledge,
yeah,
is bring more on the understanding of the market, of the situation, of
yeah.
of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. No, I agree for sure. No, that's really cool. That's really cool tech. That's really good tech. And it's, I see parallels to some of the ones in the United States, but are there, do you have competitors in Mexico, or are you like the
Well,
only?
it's like at all. I think I don't detect any competitors right
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
but we need to understand that we are now in the time to market.
Right.
What does it mean? If
Right.
I have this idea, maybe others 3, 5, 20 peoples in this country have the same idea at the same time, but
Yeah.
because it's the time to market. So,
Right.
but in this case, we don't worry about it because we are trust that we have a very, very deep understanding of the market.
Yeah.
We had many experience.
Mm-hmm.
All the team in this startup,
Yep.
starting with my co-founder, that his name is Beatriz Paredes,
Mm-hmm.
that is a wonderful woman with many, many experience in the market
Mm-hmm.
and many of knowledge about the market and very
Yep.
understanding in the final customers and deep understanding of the developers
Yeah.
in the city. So we trust in our experience.
Oh, yeah.
All that we need is to execute the idea, you know.
Right.
Keep
Yeah.
work, and try to dance. And when see another competitor in the line, just let we see what happened. And in that point,
Yeah.
all
Well,
we want to do.
you know your idea is really real when you see competitors. Then you know it's, I mean, it's like yes. And that's the coolest thing is like you come up with this idea and you spend all this time and energy on let's create this product and then it starts helping people and then people start jumping in because but you were
Yeah,
the original thought of it. But that's okay. I'm like if there's competitors, it's okay. It's a very big real estate is such a huge marketplace and you know there's a lot of room for everybody to join in. It's not going to hurt you, but you were the first to but I agree, first to the market is always the best place to be. Is
yes,
the best
that's
place to
right.
be for sure. You totally get it. Yeah, that's great. So in Mexico City, is there a very large prop tech group or is it a lot of prop tech companies happening in Mexico City or is it not?
Well, it's very interesting your question, because I think that the revolution process in Mexico City start with very, very strong impulse, maybe 4 or 3 years ago. Four,
Mm,
four, 4 years
yeah.
ago, because you know the pandemic was a
Hmm.
very important event, and put a mark between before and after, you know.
Hmm. Yep.
I think that the business, the real estate business, has an after and before the
Hmm.
public, you know.
Hmm.
For
Hmm.
example, I was working in a very important real estate company here in Mexico, that sell only developers,
Hmm.
no? The name is Class Experiencia Inmobiliaria.
Hmm.
The inventory of the class maybe have a value around 12,000 million pesos.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a very big company.
Very
But
big company.
when pandemic comes to the world, uh, every door seems to be closed.
Yes.
So all the people entering this panic. What we
Yeah.
gonna do? The market don't stop.
Yeah.
The expenses don't stop.
Right.
The company can stop. So we need to do something, and
Hmm.
we start to make this uh, kind of sell. We
Hmm.
start to selling the properties with Zooms, large distance, with tools like Zoom, like
Yeah.
Google Meet, and we show every project and all the plans, you know,
Hmm.
all the
Yeah.
¿cómo se dicen planos? Plans, bueno, also all the architects,
Yeah, for
models
sure.
and
Yeah.
everything in a screen, and we start to sell and sign contracts by electronic
Crazy.
means.
Crazy.
Was crazy,
Yeah.
but I think that was a very step in the Proptech revolution,
Yeah.
because we need to understand that the Latin America have a retracement of maybe 30 years on the technologies and project technology. Not
Hmm.
talking about the technology for the properties, the
Right.
project. I think
Yeah.
that is a retracement for maybe 20 or 30 years. So this is very important because not all the participants in the industry have understand this, that the industry have a change in the last 5 years. You know,
Yeah.
the client is very different. Now we have a client with more information, with more tools, with a spread very huge of opportunities.
Mhm.
So we need, it's very curious because we have a client that is looking for the truth and then come with you as a vendor, as a real estate or broker
Mhm.
and test that truth,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
The client first research for the truth and then testing with the truth.
Yeah.
It's very interest effect. And the client is more technical, the client is more digital. No,
Mhm.
the client now have another needs, have
Mhm.
different needs that
Mhm.
5 years ago. No, let me put this on perspective. For example, when you make marketing 5 years ago or 7 years ago, you make marketing with demographic facts. You know, how many years old, is married, is not married, is a single, is
Yeah.
divorced,
Yeah.
incomes, kids, etc. All the that was the demographic facts,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Now it's more difficult because you don't have only to use these demographic facts. You need to psychographic facts.
Yeah.
For example, what is the restaurant that the people used to visit? What is the kind of interest in their
Yeah.
life,
Right.
the place of vacations?
Yeah.
What is the style of life that the people
Yeah. Yeah.
have, no?
Is it a
They,
walkable
they
place? Is it?
walk,
Yeah.
walk, walk in
Yeah.
the morning, make
Yeah.
exercise, or maybe have a dog, you know. All these
Yeah.
facts,
That's
no
crazy.
one, it's not the it's a crazy
Yeah.
because some demographic facts, some is psychographics.
Mhm.
So this is very confused to the
Yeah.
people that do last 20 years make the marketing from
Yeah.
a one way with hegemonic model to do this. And this paradigm is changing, so you need to change,
Yeah,
you know?
no, I get it. I get it for sure. Yeah, it is, and it was like I know exactly what you're saying because I used to see them, right? And there was very much this canned thing, and this is what you got, and that's what anybody cared about. I mean, you might have gotten crime statistics, right? You might have gotten that, but nothing like, oh, the walkable places and what's around and what's attractive about this submarket versus other sub. But it got, yes, you're right. It's like the data, the amount of data that now that you present about a certain specific location is a lot more for sure.
And I think, Amy, that this turmoil that we
Mhm.
have on these all disruption technologies and
Yeah.
all this changing business and all this environment that is in change all the
Mhm.
time.
Yep.
I think it's going to be from this way maybe the next 50 years or more.
Yeah.
No?
No. Yeah.
It's very funny because a few years ago, 3 years ago, we're talking about that a student in the University of Stanford that say they maybe for to 2050 the um, the 80% of the jobs that we know is
Hmm.
going to disappear or is going to change,
Right. Right.
But with the enter of the AI,
Hmm.
this forecast
Just,
is more short
yeah.
because we are talking about 2030.
Oh,
This
wow.
6 years in the future.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No? So the people need to know that the name of the game change,
Yeah.
the things change, and the use of the technology is going to be very important. It's
Right.
not only a tool. I think it's obligation.
Well, or right, right. And the people, the common people will have a right to that data, and everybody needs to protect it so that it becomes what data are we presenting, and then it becomes, is the data valid, right? And so you need to make sure that the data that everybody's seeing is the right version of whatever that is. And that becomes a, you know, it becomes like the bellwether of how good is your data, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, it's
And
it's
you know
kind of
something?
been that way, but it's going to be more and more prevalent as you get AI tools interacting with it. You don't want the AI to go off and do something weird because the data was bad, right?
Yeah.
And so you know that causes more problems than you know than it needs to.
And you know something, something talking about the data and importance of the data and the interpretation of the data or the
Yeah,
analysis, for example, no? A few years ago, maybe 6 years ago, if you look for a job in LinkedIn, you never saw vacancy like analysis trafficker or analysis
yeah,
trafficker
right,
or
right,
trafficker or generate trafficker.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's crazy, you know,
yeah.
because that's vacancy 3 years ago or 5 years ago doesn't exist.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, part
Very
of the
true. Very
change.
many new jobs are created. Data scientists now, like that became new. Lots of yeah, anything, yes. No, I get you for sure. And you know, and I think the people immediately that are worried, well, I mean, there's gonna be jobs that change and that just is what it is. You're just your jobs change and it's going to impact a lot of people for sure. But I think it's don't be fearful of change. It's just coming. And so figure out how you can, you know, evolve to be still valuable to whoever it is who wants to employ you for sure. Right. It's an interesting thing. So what do you see in Mexico as far as the development is still is the real estate industry still strong? Is it going well? What's happening in Mexico? Do you have that? There's a global kind of inflation problem, but how is it happening how is it happening in Mexico? I'm just curious.
You know about inflation, about the high inflation.
Yeah. I mean, it's affected the real estate industry in the United States for sure.
Yes, it's very interesting the question. Let me tell you something. But as you know, the problem of inflation is important around the world,
Right.
and this occur because we interrupt the change of distribution around the world
Right.
for the pandemic, right? So when you got this change, when you got this supply change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for example, I don't know, in first step, you can transport some merchandises, the point A directly to the B, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Before the pandemic. After the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, you need to make A1, A2, A3, A5, A6, D. So all this
Yeah.
process convert more expenses
Yeah.
process to import and export
Yeah.
merchandise from the world.
Yeah.
And this effect had a direct effect in the inflation.
Yeah.
And that is the real reason that we may make or handle all this high inflation around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So what was the impact, at least here in Mexico City? Well, the first impact, and a very important impact, was that we had an increase of the cost of the construction,
Mm-hmm.
47%. Was in
47. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
felt that too.
The cost of building 1 meter in Mexico City was, for example, 11,000 pesos. And
Mm-hmm.
now we have 60 and a half thousand pesos
Oh
per
my
square feet.
goodness. Oh,
So this
yeah.
in,
Yeah.
done was translate to the final customer.
Mm.
This increase was absorbed directly by the investors. And
Really?
many investors lose
Oh
uh,
yeah.
lose the business or let's say that the investors took less profit by their projects because
Yeah.
they had to absorb all this increase
Um,
the to avoid damage the final client. because as we talk about a few minutes, the property increase the price more fast than
Hmm.
the pocket of the people coming do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can see that many investors stop to invest, stops
Yeah.
to develop,
For
no?
sure.
And that was dangerous because if you had a if you short the offer
Hmm.
and you have the same demand, the natural effect is that the price of the things is going to increase, you know? So
Hmm.
you short the offer, you have the
Yep.
same demand, so the price is going to increase.
Yeah.
But I think that especially in this year, even when this year is electoral year here in Mexico,
Hmm.
it's very interesting because we have an atypical behavior because normally in these times, in these electoral times,
Yeah.
in this time of elections,
Hmm.
all business used to stop and used to get around to see how is the things
Yeah.
going to stop or going to
Mhm.
establish, etc. But in these years, even when these years is electoral time, the business is increase and accelerate the invest and the sales and buy the properties. It's very atypical because
Yeah.
this never happened
Uh-huh.
in all my history in the real estate, and I had 30 years working in this industry, and
Hmm.
never in electoral time we we have seen this as accelerate in the real estate industry. I think that the people was very tired of the pandemic, of the crisis, and of the government. And for me, it's like all the people say, yeah, for me, it's okay. Let's doing something because we have to do something and we have to make move this country every day, you know? So the
Yeah.
people wake up and start to invest. And this is what happened right now here in Mexico. But I think that the inflation is going to be more established.
Hmm.
Actually, we have signs. The economy is going to suffer in a cooler. So that means
Hmm.
that the central bank is going to get down the
Yeah.
interest,
Interesting.
and I think that we depend, or of course we depend that the sign of the Federal Reserve, you know,
Yeah.
if the Federal Reserve cut the rate, not we had more space to move and decide if we cut and how many basis point we're gonna cut.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But I think that the inflation is going to be more established in the next 6 or 7 months, even for the United States, or
Oh,
not
yeah.
only.
Yeah. I think I think we're in this for a little bit. I think, it's gonna, it's slowed down, but not really. I mean, we're still getting some inflation, but I think it's, people are acceptable. Yeah, I know that our Fed has talked about reducing the rates 3 times this year or something like that. I just don't know. I mean, but at least, he gives us a little bit of warning on what he's planning on doing. So I think everybody's just like going like this, crossing their fingers and toes that that, they ease off a little bit so we all can take a big breath, go, okay, we can breathe, it's just, we're in it. And so we'll see for sure. We'll see.
I think that the central banks need to find another way to control inflation.
Yeah, I don't,
I mean actually the adjust on the rate is working right now around the world.
yeah,
But in some point is against of the people because every time that you move the rate higher,
yeah,
you damage the economy of the people, the economy of the
yeah,
business and all the industries because the money is more expensive. So I think that the banks need to find another tool to control inflation.
Yeah,
I
they have
know what
one
is the
play.
tool, but it's my point of view, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And they have one play in their playbook. One play. That's it. That's all they know how to do. It either goes up or it goes down. That's all they know how to
Yes.
do.
It's,
Right?
it's
That's
only
it.
one.
I
It's,
know.
it's all the book play.
I know. It's like find another play. It's like,
It's find another play. Yeah. It's enough with this play.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everybody's feeling it for sure. Well, this has been such a great conversation. It was so good. I'm
Thank
so
you,
glad
Amy.
we got to do this, and yeah, for sure. And anytime, and I'm so glad you're in the PropTech Council, you're in the Founders Forum, and kind of engaging there too. So, I'll let everybody kind of get how to meet, contact you. I'll let you do that, but the
Yes,
U.S.
of course.
PropTech Council is
You
a
can
great place.
find me on LinkedIn
Yeah.
as Jose. Let me see my profile. You can find me by my name. By my name is Jose Ignacio Lastra.
Mhm.
Jose is Jose. Ignacio Igmacio. Lastra, my first name that is L middle name. Sorry, Lastra.
Yeah, last.
Or my user in LinkedIn is J Lastra. No?
Okay.
J
Lastra.
Lastra.
Okay.
You can find me on my Instagram as J Lastra 33. I think
Okay.
is my user. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, sorry. Pepe Lastra.
Pepe
That's me.
Lastra.
PPLASTRA
Uh-huh.
three.
Okay.
That's
Got
my
you.
Instagram.
That's your
Yes.
Instagram. It's great.
And yeah, I think with those nets, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah, they can find
And
you
on
for
LinkedIn.
sure. They can find you for sure. Well, thank you. It's so great.
Well, thank you to
And
you. Thank
yeah,
you.
no, it's awesome. It's very
Was a
cool.
pleasure talking this or have this chatting with you.
Yeah.
And thank you for the opportunity to show you what is that we do and how we do.
Yeah.
And we have the time and support me with my bad English.
Oh, for now you did great. You did great. Like I say,
Thank
I
you
would have
very
done
much.
horrible. Yeah. All right. Great. Okay.